I've got Kareem Alem standing by to discuss. First, let's have a listen to Clint Mallman. He's the CEO of London Drugs. Listen to this.
We routinely have our employees threatened with knives, needles, machetes, and other sort of bear spray. It's in northern BC. It's on Vancouver Island. We see it universally everywhere.
Yeah, he says they're seeing it across the province, in their stores, with their employees being assaulted, their customers being harassed, and now they're shutting down that store in the Woodwards building. Have a listen to this report from Global News.
This smashed glass, a recent reminder of the violence store staff face. The suspect, who has 25 aliases and a BC court history dating back to 1999, released after being charged with mischief, uttering threats, and assault with a weapon.
The gentleman was trying to attack our staff with a pipe.
Yeah, attack staff with a pipe. Is that just kind of a routine day down at that store? It has now been shut down. Let's discuss with Kareem Alem now, the leader of Vancouver Liberals. He is running to be the mayor of Vancouver this year. Kareem, thanks a lot for coming on today.
Thanks for having me on again, Mike.
Okay, thanks a lot for doing it. This is a real blow to this neighborhood to lose this anchor store in the Woodwards building. Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely heartbreaking to see an iconic business that has been an integral part of the neighborhood leave. This isn't just the only location where London Drugs has had challenges. We've seen London Drugs have challenges also in Granville. But this is part of a bigger story. Over the course of the last 5 years, we've had a number of large businesses in the downtown core start to shut down their locations. So everything from Nordstrom's to Floda, Cardam's Donuts. We've seen 29 business closures along the Granville Strip. I've met with all the BIAs here in the city of Vancouver on the campaign trail, and there's two things that they're complaining about. One, it's the 26% increases in property taxes that Ken Sim has laid onto these businesses, which now represent 50% of their triple net lease on rent. So that means 50% of the rent that all these businesses are paying are property taxes. But the other is the public safety issue. We're not addressing the core of the public safety issue, which is large gangs that aren't operating in the downtown east side are issuing ticket orders. They're building up lists of goods that they are then going to resell on the secondary market, on Craigslist, on Facebook Marketplace. And so what happens is they go into the downtown east side, they go to people who are in desperate need of money, and they tell them, go steal these Arc'teryx jackets. And they'll go and steal these Arc'teryx jackets that are worth $1,000 each, and then they go resell them on the downtown east side and on these online marketplaces for $300. Part of the problem is there are non-criminals that are buying these stolen goods. So part of the problem and part of what we need to do to address this crime issue is to go after the kingpins and the drug dealers and the organized crime that is hiring these people, but also going after these secondary marketplaces where these discounted goods are being bought and sold brand new.
Okay, I think you've raised some excellent points. How would you deal with that if you were the mayor?
Well, first of all, we need an operation barrage, but not on the downtown east side. We need to start going after the drug kingpins, and we need to start going after the cartels and the mob bosses that live in penthouse suites in Cole Harbour and live in penthouse suites in Yaletown that drive around in these fancy cars. We know that proceeds of crime, and you had me on your show here not too long ago, where the proceeds of crime is what is enabling all these gang members to become wealthy, and they're laundering the money here in the city through Bitcoin ATMs, through currency exchanges. And historically, they've been laundering that money through pawn shops. So we need to get more aggressive on proceeds of crime. We need to get more aggressive on not just going after the street level criminals, but going after the bosses that are driving the chaos that we are seeing on our streets.
But how would you do that as mayor? Like if you were the mayor, I mean, you're not the chief of police, you're not the premier. I mean, your job would be much different as the mayor. Is this a municipal responsibility, the stuff you're describing?
Yes, some of it is. Some of it is provincial. Some of it is federal. So we've talked a lot. I've heard you talk a lot on your show about the rotating revolving door of in our criminal justice system, and of course, the premier and the prime minister have been working to plug up some of those holes in that legislation. But again, there's been an overemphasis on the street level criminals and not enough focus, which we're going to need the federal RCMP to help us out with in going after the big crimes that are enabling all this bad behavior. Mike, you can arrest 100 people tomorrow morning in the downtown east side that are street level criminals, but these drug bosses, these gang members, they're going to have no problem going in the next day and recruiting 100 new people. We've got to attack the source of this, which is the bosses. And frankly, not enough attention is being given to it. And I'm looking to see a more robust expansion in the VPD teams that investigate money laundering. We do have a VPD team that does work with the federal RCMP on money laundering. We need to give them more resources to go after those crime bosses and those kingpins.
Speaking of Kareem LM, he is running to be the mayor of Vancouver this year, challenging Vancouver Mayor Ken Symth. Let me just go back, Kareem, to a point you just made about property taxes in the city, and you're hearing from businesses in Vancouver that property taxes are too high. And sure, I hear that all the time too. Vancouver Mayor Ken Symth, yeah, he has jacked up a lot of taxes in the past. He says he didn't like doing it.
Now, I know increases like this are hard. Frankly, they suck.
Yeah, he says that tax increases suck, and that's why he has brought in a tax freeze this year in Vancouver, right? Like the proposed tax increase in Vancouver this year is 0%. But you're saying, you told me, though, that you don't agree with the tax freeze, right?
So the first thing that we need to understand is even if he does achieve a 0% tax increase over a 4-year period, no mayor and council in the history of Vancouver have raised property taxes more than Ken Symth and ABC. They've raised property taxes by 26% over 3 years. And if it hit 0, it's still 26% over 4 years. Kennedy Stewart has the silver medal when it comes to charging the most property taxes, and he only charged increased property taxes by 22% over 4 years. Let's just put the perspective on the size of this number. When Ken Symth took over the budget from Kennedy Stewart, the budget was $1.7 billion. Today, it's $2.4 billion. Ken Symth has raised property taxes by $700 million a year. I don't think there's a single person in the city of Vancouver that thinks anything's gotten $700 million a year better. And we just know exactly this. If Ken Symth is reelected and gets another 4 years, you guys all know, we all know that what he's going to do in that first year of his new mandate is he's going to raise property taxes again by another 7 or 8% because he hasn't attacked the root cause of what's driving the cost escalations here in the city of Vancouver, which is our poor maintenance record and our ridiculous out of control internal inflation rate, which ranges between 8 and 11% a year.
Kareem, thanks a lot for coming on to talk about this today. I appreciate it.